The Power of Now is a spiritual self-help guide to help us discover our true being, release our pain, and find deep inner peace. When we're fully immersed in the present, we can create a better world by focusing on our objectives and not just fulfilling our desires. Tolle started the book by sharing the circumstances and experience leading to his enlightenment. Like many others, he had suffered from anxiety and even suicidal depression for many years. Then, when he was 29 years old, he had a personal epiphany which changed the course of his life. Tolle only fully understood his transformation years later, and this book acts as a spiritual self-help guide to capture what he has discovered through his experience and years of spiritual study. One key idea in the book is this: at the core we are beings of pure love, joy, and peace. Yet many of us suffer and are in pain, because we have unknowingly identified ourselves with our mind and a false sense of self. Enlightenment simply means regaining awareness of our true nature as pure consciousness. The brain is an amazing instrument, when it's used properly. The problem is, our brains don't always work for us. Most of the time, we're controlled by our minds that are full of undesired thoughts and a warped sense of identity. Take a minute to stop and ask yourself, who am I and what do I stand for? You might be surprised by your abilities, relationships, beliefs, or your family history. According to Tolle, most of these things you think you are actually just your ego. And after your death, they will no longer be with you. Enlightenment, rising above thought. Your ego is not your true self, and it can only exist by drawing on external sources. It feeds on your past, who you think you are, based on past experiences, and your future, who you think you will be, based on regrets, etc. Identifying with your thoughts will always cause problems. This is because the ego self thrives on thoughts and feelings that are out of alignment with our true self within. The term enlightenment refers to the state where someone is rising above their thoughts. In this state, it's possible to isolate your mind and become less enslaved to it. You'll still have thoughts, but you can come back to them at a later time without being constantly distracted. The delusion of time and the power of now. Much like your ego, time created by the human mind to facilitate their daily lives. Clock time is useful for practical purposes like scheduling appointments and running a meeting, as well as for learning from the past and setting goals for the future. This moment is all we've got. It's the only time that we ever have, and what we produce will always be part of our now. But most of us are still somewhat caught up in the illusion that time only moves forward. We spend a lot of time thinking about the past or dreaming about a better future. As a result, people can sometimes miss out on what's happening in the present you're in right now. It can be hard to recognize that our thoughts and feelings influence what we experience in the present moment. But if you find yourself experiencing any physical pain, try to explore this in your mind and see where it takes you. I would recommend anyone interested in this topic to pick up the book. It's a short read and has been an eye-opener for many people through the years, capable of completely changing your perspective on the nature of our very existence itself. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel to deepen your knowledge and explore topics like spirituality, psychology, and self-development.